Hi, I'm Sister Unity. Recently, an entire nation voted to distance itself from the continent of which it is part, all because the majority of voters were afraid of people with dark skin. This is the country that saw fit to colonize all of the places in the world inhabited by people with dark skin. Perhaps they should have Brexited their colonies and colonization habits if they wanted to be left alone. Meanwhile, over in their most successful colony, a land that was built by the slaves they imported, a land dedicated to liberty and freedom for all, the vestiges of the white patriarchal hegemony that had been planted by this Brexiting nation and still exist in a blue and white hegemony, shot down more people with dark skin. Why? 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 Because white people fear what they colonize and colonize what they do not understand. You and I are here with this video. What do we do? It is my belief that we must act on this worldwide problem, this national problem, even this local problem, in the macro sphere, on the outside, in the community. But at the same time, we can find the roots of it in our own thinking and feelings, in our own psyche. I think that almost everyone who comes from privilege, and maybe some who don't, have some part to play in the maintenance of a society that succours mass incarceration without enough protest to tear down the prison walls. So what do we do in the microsphere, inside ourselves? We must contemplate and look at ourselves and root out and find the places where we are, perhaps racist, but even if not that, complicit in silence. And here's the connection, and here is my exercise for us all. Sister Electra Complex and I believe that how we regard parts of our own bodies reflects this propensity to maintain a status quo attitude of puritanical, old British uptightness about politics, about race, class, and locally about taboos to do with our own body and our own sexuality. Women's bodies are colonized. They are commoditized. They are objectified and defined by men, by male-oriented, male-founded mass media. Anuses are colonized. From the time we are little, oh, don't touch that, that's dirty. They are dirty, they are unseen, they are unacceptable. Part of the trouble that gay rights have had is because people think it's so disgusting because they do that with their anus. Even in Africa, in Uganda, the arguments by the minister who was such a strong voice against gay rights went around the country saying, they eat the poo-poo, they eat the poo-poo. You can see the videos on YouTube. The anus is alienated, dirty, unseen, unacceptable. Gay dick. It is dangerous, strange, diseased. So, what I'm asking you to do is find these body parts on yourself, on a friend, on a lover. Work with someone if they believe that this practice is worth exercising. And first, light some incense, or use flowers, or some scent of some kind, and ritually uplift, beautify, purify the atmosphere around the body part. You can wave incense before an ass. You can ring flowers around a vagina or tits or a belly, whether it's fat and fulsome or skinny and underfed or athletic or whatever it is. Honor it, beautify it, make it ritual sacred space. Take some glitter and sprinkle it over a gay dick and balls, or a hairy, miscolored, veiny dick and balls. Over body parts that are defined strongly by society, either captivated and put to use for male pleasure or male safety, white male pleasure, white male safety, or are shunned and put away into the closet and the shadow of consciousness as unacceptable. Make these ritually sacred and beautified and welcomed. And then pray to them, sing to them, give them words of love, words of upliftment. And if you're working with someone else or you practice a lot of yoga, kiss them. As Jesus said to his apostles at the Last Supper, "This is my body, eat of it." And so bring your lips to these shadowed and colonized places and partake in them in a ritualized eating by kissing them. How much more intimate and honorable can it get? Like kissing the feet of our Lord, like honoring the feet of Shiva or Krishna, like bowing the forehead to the floor in the direction of Mecca. Honor these parts, removing the shadow society keeps above them. When we begin to remove the stick from the ass of our own consciousness, we make at least one corner of society that is liberated. And that one corner can, in time, spread to others. And in this way, person to person to person, we begin to actually liberate people's minds so that there are more people who no longer regard their own bodies and places on their own bodies as other. And when you accept the unacceptable places in yourself, or you reclaim the defined and colonized places on yourself, then that confidence and that freedom in your mind begins to look at the macrosphere and see others that had merely been held as other. Those black people, those Syrian people, those women, those fags, those transgenders, those whatever the color, race, and class. And it stops saying those because you've stopped pushing your own places away and starts regarding it as one whole community, as one people, with differences. Your ass is different from your eyes, but they're both a sacred part. As one joke goes, and the body parts were arguing, which of us is the most important? The brain said, I am the most important. I run everything. I think everything. The mouth said, I feed us. I keep us alive. The lung said, ha! Without me, you'd die like that. No breathing. The heart said, do you know how critical I am? And they all went to the anus, and they said, which of us is the most important? You're not very important. Tell us which you think is the most important. You have an objective view from the outside. And in response, the anus simply closed. And after a day, all of the organs, backed up in shit and gas, relented and said, we are idiots. Clearly you, the anus, are at least equally important, if not the most. You keep us pure. So if you can honor your own places that have been thought of as impure or reclaim them from the definitions given by others, then you can do the same thing for other people. Begin at home and then take your gifts to the outside world. It may be just a little thing to do, but you gotta start somewhere.